Hi, welcome to our third webinar in our series of our Eco October. I'd like to thank our guest presenter, Matthew Miller, for coming along to us today. The webinar is being recorded for future reference, and it will be uploaded onto our website. Before I hand over to Matt, I would just like to go through a few things that Uttlesford are offering for our businesses. So this is our economic development team. There's myself, Rachel and Sarah. We're here on hand to basically provide our business support and advice, and also signpost for financial support, any sort of training opportunities, and advise in regards to any grants that are available. Next week, we have 3 additional webinars that are in our series for Eco October. So on the 24th, we have how to reduce your carbon footprint. On the 25th, we have discovering your career in retrofit. And on the 26th, we have practical digital sustainability for SMEs. We still have availability for these. So if you go onto our website, you can sign up if they are of interest to yourselves. As well as the webinars, we have a low carbon workplace grant. So this is a £5,000 match funded grant with the aim to help our businesses reduce their carbon footprint. This can be used for materials and equipment, retrofitting, LED lighting, solar panels, business consultation, carbon literacy training. These are just some of the items that the grant can be used for. So if you go onto our website, you can find out more information in regards to that. As well as the grant, we also have a one-on-one consultation. This is a 1-hour consultation. It takes a deeper look into individual cases and identifies problems and solutions. This has been incredibly popular, and we currently only have 5 spaces left, so I would advise you to apply for that. It also complements the grant very nicely, because obviously from the goals and the issues that have been identified, you can then apply for the grant to help you patch that gap. We have business coaching, which is a 6-hour online group sessions and 2-hour one-on-one private sessions for business coach. This is fully funded, and at the moment we have just 2 spaces left with the I came with an idea and I live with a business. We have 4 grants available. So we have our business startup grant, which is £2,500. That's match funded, and that's for any businesses that are 2 years or younger. We have our High Street Premises Enhancement Fund. This is £5,000 match funding, and that's to enhance the front of your premises. We have our Rural England Prosperity Fund, and we also have our Low Carbon Workplace Grant. On our website, we have our free to download startup guide, and this covers everything for the day-to-day running of your business and is incredibly useful. So I would advise you to go onto that and download if you haven't already seen. We've recently updated our website and our directory. So this is, again, it's free to all our businesses to join. This is resident facing, so the residents can see and find your businesses. It's also very useful if business wants to collaborate with other businesses. So again, if you haven't already signed up, then please do so. And finally, we have our business e-newsletter. So this goes out fortnightly. If you haven't signed up, I would advise you to do so. You get advice on, sort of the advice and support on what we've got sort of, coming through as and when we have it. So it does keep you updated with what we have to offer for our businesses. So without any further delays, I'd like to hand over to our guest speaker, Matthew Miller. Matt, I'd just like to thank you for coming along and for sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Right. Let me just see if I can share, and then let's just try that again. Hopefully it is sharing. Is that coming up?
Yeah, I can see that on there, Matt. That's brilliant.
All right, we'll go for slideshow. Let's just start that. Hopefully then we get that through. Okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant, marvellous. Okay, so yeah, my name's Matthew Miller. I'm the Green Sector Lead or Green Sector Development Lead for Essex County Council. And today I'm going to talk to you about a couple of projects that are due to start and have run, and some opportunities that are there. So first one I'm going to talk about is the Great Start project. And I'll give a little bit of background in terms of where that's come about and what that actually means. But ultimately, it's a sustainable business waste management accreditation scheme, which can be run by ECC. And let me just go a little bit where that sort of came from. So it's come out of what's called the Net Zero Innovation Network, which is something that ECC put together, which is a combination of a network of academics, business, councils, local people, honourable people in there. We've got people from all sorts of areas of business, wide and far, and variable. And the purpose of the Net Zero Innovation Network is exactly that: to innovate in the net zero space. So we're talking green agenda, sustainability, everything in terms of net zero. So that could be energy, that could be a variety of waste saving, all these sort of things. But ultimately, that all really came out of the government coming out looking to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 100% by 2050. So I know we've had recently in the news a bit of that change there, but in terms of the government looking at that target, but the 2050 is still that sort of backstop net zero target. Really, the net zero looking at those factors, so backing businesses to get green and looking at local action and increasing the transparency and engaging people. And that sort of brought us where the Net Zero Innovation Network was created. And actually, if we look at that power and that positive change, so according to a report that we did as ECC in 2021, there were over 725,000 tonnes of waste collected, treated and disposed of by the 12 district, borough and city councils in Essex and the Essex County Council area. Now, the government has set the new ambitions for waste. So a circular economy regulation in 2020 introduced new targets, looking for local authorities to achieve 65% recycling by 2035. And capping the amount of waste going into landfill at 10% or less by 2035. So ECC aiming to move to zero landfill by 2030. And the 2021 Environment Act is expected to lead more accessible and consistent recycling services. So that's part of where this comes from. So in terms of the net zero innovation, in terms of waste, in terms of some of the targets that we've got there. But really, what is Great Start? So product of the ends in, everything gets abbreviated these days. So ends in Net Zero Innovation Network. But really, the key aims of what we're looking to do with the Great Start scheme is to reduce the amount of waste produced by businesses where possible and encourage circular economy practices, increase their turnover by streamlining costly work streams and offering sustainable supply chains and sourcing new streams of income, prompting businesses to take action and form communities based around a singular environmental goal, and training on offer for staff in order to future-proof businesses for upcoming legislative changes based around net zero. So that's helping the businesses sort of get there. Promoting and participating businesses on our socials as role models and increase their business engagement and reach, and improve local areas, prevent waste ending up on our natural green spaces, and restoring pride in the area where we live. So I think, they're the real sort of key overriding goals of what we want to do. Obviously, we want to have a as big an impact and as wide an impact as possible. So what we've done is we are, just to come back a section. So this hasn't launched yet. This is due to launch in the new year 2024, and is going to be a couple of areas. Uttlesford and Braintree at the moment is where this is going to start. But we're going to utilise the Carbon Cutting Essex app. So that was launched at the start of this year. That is a carbon cutting app for residents of Essex, and will enable them to download from the App Store, and it could make them aware of their carbon footprint, adding some data and some info in there, how you might be able to reduce it. There's blogs and there's quizzes and other content in there. And that actually provides incentives for those users to make change. What we're doing is we've got some development there already, so we are using that development to actually enable businesses to be able to get on there. So that's residents. It will be slightly different. So it's using the same technology in terms of the app, and being able to then deliver the Great Start benefits through this app. and I'll go on to the next slide, and that'll just give a little bit more on it. So, and actually interesting, in the sort of spirit of reusing, that's exactly what we're doing. So, we very much not building a second app where we don't need one, using the existing one and integrating. So what we're already doing is to host a library of resources consisting of webinars, signposting for grants, other businesses, among many other purposes. And that will also be able to act as a centralized hub for communications to our participants, with some scope to receive communications from them too. So just to go a bit more into detail, so everything that we think that a business would need to enable them to manage their waste better, but also get on a green and sustainable journey. That's what we're going to be putting on this app. So downloadable content, access to webinars, access to experience and knowledge from a variety of people. So all of that being driven through here, and ultimately then looking at using digital badging, which is relatively new, but digital badging to show some of the great work that the businesses are doing. Now, it's not just for green businesses, it's for businesses who want to get on that green journey, or those to become even more so. It's going to start with a waste focus, but we're hoping it will grow over time and will encompass everything in terms of the green and net zero and sustainable agenda, and everything on there. So everything that a business might need to be able to utilize. And then with the digital badging, getting involved in a community where all the digital badges can show the individual attendance of these workshops, whether that be for the business or individuals who work for that business. And through that digital badging community and pathways, actually would show the sustainability journey that the business is on as well. And each of these, as we grow, more badges will be added on, and showing what each business has done, year on year, in terms of pushing the sort of the green agenda from their perspective. We also think it's going to be able to be promoted, and we're looking to sort of publicly celebrate the successes and encourage as part of that. So we want a community of like-minded, individuals and businesses in there that are actually pushing that agenda for the certainly to start with regards to waste, managing that waste in a better way, in a more sustainable way. But ultimately developing that over time, that even the communities grow on that, and as such the app will grow too. Just a couple of partnerships that are going to be brought in as part of this. So we've got a Too Good To Go now. Some people who watch this might be aware of them or not, but ultimately it's a waste reduction exercise. So businesses can sign up to the Too Good To Go company, and what they do is they enable businesses to sell excess or leftover or unwanted items of food to the public at a highly discounted rate, and that helps remove food waste from landfill, providing people with good quality, cheap food, and increases financial bottom line as well. So we're working to promote this as part of it, which we think is a really good scheme. So essentially, you imagine any business, if they want to be reducing their waste in all senses, waste, whether that be energy to make food, energy, making too much, or ultimately that food going into landfill, if they can actually get something from it. And it's very much used, across the country, actually. Too Good To Go, it's an opportunity to then get something for that money, even if it's reduced, but ultimately not having to then manage that and all the other costs that would come into that. So that's one area that we're looking at. And they're also looking at partnering with a company called Tier 1, and they provide participating businesses a sustainable method of disposing of their e-waste. So we're talking hardware, electronic devices. So they specialize in the refurbishment and reuse of electronic devices and components. And they also actually work with prison workshops and enable prisoners to be able to develop new skills, which they can use once they've left prison, acquired purpose, and contributing to a circular economy by utilising components that wouldn't have otherwise been or would have otherwise been sent to landfill. And it's certainly part of the Great Start focus. So there's a lot of benefits there, positive social change as well as that impact on waste. So two partnerships that we're looking there, but also there will be more more interactive, more peer interaction, and developing over time. But we think it's a really good accreditation scheme. The digital badging is going to be a really big part of it, to show exactly what businesses are doing, and also supporting businesses in terms of that journey. So that is the Great Start. Now, I did originally have two presentations to put together, but I've got to just close this one and start the next one. So just bear with me 1 second while I just bring the next one up. Let me stop sharing. Let me, yeah. Hopefully you can see that one. Green Entrepreneurs Program. How are we doing, Andy? Is that coming up?
Yes, on there.
Splendid.
Lovely.
All right, lovely. So, yes. Something is happening. 1 sec. It doesn't like my slide one, but that's okay. That's okay. So Green Entrepreneurs Program. So I'll give you a bit of a background on this as well. We've just completed the first go of the Green Entrepreneurs Program. So it's an ECC run program. And what it was put in was to support individuals aged 18 to 30 with green startups in Essex and hone knowledge, skills and attributes and values for the future workforce. So ultimately, we're looking at helping new businesses start, helping people to develop new skills in the green and sustainable area, and actually develop a future workforce. So this Green Entrepreneurs Program started and actually was done in August. And the original aspiration was to offer it to 30 individuals with green entrepreneurial aspirations and ideas. So they didn't have to have a business, and they could have an idea and to come on this. But ultimately, learning some new skills and hone existing skills relevant to starting up and running a business and enabling those businesses to drive that green and sustainable agenda. And also then at the end of it, an opportunity for participants to pitch for £5,000 of seed funding. So we had five winners potentially in the pot, and that seed funding enabling a business to get going, get started. There was some, there's some elements in terms of what they could spend that on, but ultimately it was about driving that business. Right, let me just see number 2. That didn't like that. Sorry, there we go. So that happened in August, and we're having a celebration event next week. So there will be some more communication coming out. So you'll be able to see a bit more about that as the weeks go by. And this will be a celebration of what we've already done. And as I said, 18 to 30, and we had 3 winners. So 3 great new ideas, and we're going to be showing some communications out about those. But what we're doing is we're going to be offering the Green Entrepreneurs Program again in 2024. So there will be some communication. There's going to be some marketing that will go out. Now it was only for 18 to 30s in this year, but we're extending that out, and it will be offered no age limit on it, but it will be for businesses that will be a year or less old from when they've been registered as a business, to enable the fact that we're really looking to support startups with it. So there won't be an age limit this time, but yeah, only if a business has existed less than a year could they then apply for it. So, and the reason for that is that we want to capture sort of young element and the startup element as well in there. So there's a real benefit to the program. So we've got room for 30 individuals on the program. This year we had a 6-week program managed by a company called Art Clubbers, and the program also included some mentoring for each individual and a bit of skills development from like a basic sort of level of, you know, what are the basic things you need to start a business, through to you've had a business for a while and actually you want to develop those skills within that to make yourself bigger and better. So networking and transferable skills being key there. Now, because we've had a sort of wide section, and to make it as wide an offering, there will be people who have already got business, maybe even had a business more than once, who could still apply. And a 6-week program will hopefully have benefit for everyone, even experienced business owners, right the way through to somebody who may be a leaver from university, may have never even been to university, but has got an idea and would like some support in terms of taking that idea and going through a 6-week program and actually learning some new skills of how do I turn that idea into something real, and how do I then take that and how do I turn it into an actual business, you know? So not just I've got an idea, but into a business idea and then a plan. So the aim is all successful applicants would gain hugely from the experience. They're going to gain skills and experience. There's obviously the peer-to-peer elements within that, and also all the tutors on the course are experienced. They're experienced within business in a variety of different ways. So we've got green modules in there, we've got business modules, there'll be money ones, there will be tax elements to it. So it's very, very broad, but a huge amount of information in there for everyone. So hopefully there's then some benefit for all levels who are going on it. And we've seen from the feedback from the first iteration that we had of this, that some have found the actual program as beneficial as winning some seed funding that will help the business. Now, all of them, and this will be the same for when we do this in this year coming, there's an opportunity to pitch for seed funding. It's not hugely pressurized. It's going to be it's a panel of knowledgeable people from across the council to start with. But they don't have to. They could take as much from just doing a 6-week program and entering onto that. But there's no, they don't have to go for the seed funding at the end of it. Ideally, we want everyone to do that because it's great practice, and actually it's driven towards being able to get somebody to take that idea, that by the end of the 6 weeks, they've honed that idea and got an idea, well, how do I actually pitch this and see if I can win something and actually turn that into a business? As I said, we've got 3 winners from this year, and we're hoping that they would be part of it, whether that be mentors or even just part of the course to show you actually what they've done and what they've sort of benefited from it. There's also then at the end of it the benefit of any of the council network and the people that we work with, and some of the businesses, and all of the organizations that exist that might help any business, and certainly a startup perspective, and whether that be opening doors and putting them with the right people. We've obviously got academic links there as well, which is beneficial too. So a lot of those as beneficial as the money, but everything been very positive for this year. So hopefully if we open it up and there's no age limit, then actually then it can be even bigger and better. Again, 5,000 of seed funding, likely to be 5 lots of those, but that's to be confirmed. But there will be seed funding to be able to be won at the end of it. Digital badging. So we do have a digital badge. I did have it on the front screen, but for some reason that's not come up. It might come up at the end. So we've written that for everyone who goes through the program, irrespective of whether they've won any seed funding or even attempted for that. But a great thing, just shows, that's a 6-week program, all of the benefits there, and showcase exactly what they've done through digital badging, which can be put on CVs, LinkedIn, very shareable digital document. And as I said earlier, we're also holding a celebration event next week for the winners, and more will be shared on that, to showcase actually some of what they've done and what their ideas are, and how we're then supporting them with their new green ideas and what they've taken from it. I've just got a couple of creative here just to give you an idea of what we were doing when we were marketing that, and it was very much entrepreneurs, but you don't need the experience of doing it. So it is for anyone brand new. It would be for 18. So anyone who's a school leaver or a university would be ideal. Ultimately, then all the way through. So we're hoping it's going to be successful, and there will be more to come in terms of when that's starting, when we'll have a marketing campaign coming up, leading up to when that opens up for next year. So yeah, just to confirm, just really here that in terms of, so spring 2024 is when we're aiming for the next Green Entrepreneurs Program. Going to be a 6-week program again, no age barrier, experienced tutors from a variety of backgrounds delivering online workshops and seminars. And that was a key thing because it's open to anyone who's in Essex, lives in Essex, and being online meant that everybody could get to it at any time. So there was no, we were consciously aware that actually if travel has to be included, then that makes it difficult. So there are times where there might be benefits for that. For example, the events or the pitching, but in the main, all online, which enables anyone to get it. And actually, the joy of this is if there was somebody who was working, for example, couldn't get to a seminar during the day, downloadable, being able to get access to that outside of normal working hours. So nobody would sort of be at a disadvantage. Great opportunity to improve peer network. So we want to grow that even more. Opportunity to work with like-minded people who might have similar ideas, and entrepreneurs who may, as I said, variety of experience there. Still, again, the opportunity for seed funding, and even if people didn't want to, a great opportunity to get some entrepreneurial skills and knowledge on starting up a green and sustainable business and develop their own network themselves and earn a digital badge for completing the course. So that was the Green Entrepreneurs Program, which we felt was really successful this year. So watch out for that coming next year. All you need is an idea for that. It doesn't need to be any more than that. And actually, it's a really, really beneficial 6-week program. But as I say, we'll talk more about that. And actually, that brings me to the end of the slide. So 2 things there. So the Great Start, due to start early next year. Actually, going to be starting that in Uttlesford and Braintree. And then we've got the Green Entrepreneurs, which are 2 really good schemes, really interesting, really varied, and we want to make those as successful as possible. So, Andy, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. It's very kind of you to let me talk about them.
No, yeah, thank you, Matt. That's it's been brilliant. It's yeah, thank you for coming along and sharing your knowledge with us. I think there's a lot to take away from there. Listen, and if there's anybody listening that's any questions or queries or any information, they can email the economic development team and we can help them. Lovely.
Perfect.
Brilliant. All right then. Thank you.
Thank you. Not a
Brilliant.
problem.
All right then. We'll take care then.
Cheers. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks,
you.
Andy. See you soon. Bye-bye.